All right, family. All right. And we are back and we are live. Whoo, y'all in for a treat tonight. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody in the chat, get comfortable. KT has an amazing presentation.
Oh yeah.
He's about to shock the world with family. So,
Chill.
so
You know.
but yeah, we're gonna have a good time tonight. Let's get to a quick commercial and we'll be right back. All right. Don't show me that. Don't why the brother did that. No, don't do that, brother. I ain't even going
What?
there with you, man.
You tapped out, man.
I done tapped out, man.
You
I'm like,
tapped out again, Rich?
yeah, bro. I can't help
Oh
myself.
man, I mean I gotta
Now
read you
now
up.
that I put it with the CMOS, the T, and I haven't shown that on camera in a while.
I'm
Before
about
the
to
end
say,
of the
say
show.
that to the people. Say it for the people in the back, real quick.
Yeah, now that I
What you
put it
do
with the
now?
CMOS T, it goes even faster. And I didn't know, I didn't try the CMOS tea with other honeys before, even the Manuka. But I tried it with that, and I was like, oh, this dude KT, man. I'm like, come on, man.
Milk and
Man.
honey.
Yeah.
The real milk and honey.
But listen, family, we're gonna let me get to a commercial and we'll be right back, family.
Started out with nothing. Now I got a whole lot of something. Breaking through the roof. Willy Wonka when he pressed the button. When I do a money ritual, all of a sudden money started coming. Then I cut the Holy Ghost. I still be rhyming even when I'm mumbling. You repeat my name 3 times. While you staring in the mirror, bottle will appear like poof. I came from out of thin air. To me the gun is like a magic wand. I make a problem disappear. I would knock a nigga teeth out his mouth. Just to turn him to veneer. I can do magic. 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 When I open up my mouth, I can move masses. Black magic on the beat, turn it to a classic. I'ma take the money out the bank, then I'ma put it in the mattress. So the niggas got.
All right.
Hey, hold up, son. What you doing? How you just going?
That's the commercial, the
How
intro.
you just gonna pull the plug though, son?
Can't play it, not yet. The whole thing. I can't play the whole thing yet.
Oh, that ain't even right.
Yeah, man.
So that's how people feel when they see me sipping on the honey on the screen.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yep, same thing.
Dang,
same
man.
thing. Listen, that's the first single from that's the first single from me and Cam's new album. Holy Ghost 3 coming soon. Most likely the end of September, and we'll let you get updated on that.
Woo!
You got to come to that video shoot, KT. It's on September 9th, the video shoot.
Oh, ain't that the mountain day?
Yeah, right after the mountain, we're gonna go to Tassili's and we're gonna shoot the video.
Nice.
At Tassili. Yeah, we're gonna go over there and shoot the video. Yeah, so
okay.
Gotta be there, brother. You gotta be there, man.
Oh man, magic it is.
Indeed. Speaking of magic, you know, we got the stars are in the building, and I'm not just talking about me and KT, I'm talking about all of us.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we got a magical show, a show full of stardust tonight.
That's right.
KT, so much talk, KT, about aliens and extraterrestrials and ETs and the new words, the new phrases that they use in spaceships and the wheels and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most sophisticated spaceships there is the human body. So I needed KT to go deep into some science and give y'all the science and let y'all know that this ain't just hearsay when we talk about our origins and where we're from and who we are. So KT, without further ado, man, I'm gonna pass the mic to you. I'll come back in toward the end. We'll do a quick Q&A. But brother, talk to me about us being about star genetics, my brother. You see the flyer, I had the sister on the flyer.
Oh no, that sister was flyer.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
That sister was flyer. Now that was hard.
Oh yeah.
All right, where we at?
I see y'all love that last show, me and KT that did the Tyrone joint. That joint.
Oh yeah, they love that.
Yeah, that joint was amazing. Let me. Okay. All right, yo, family, make sure y'all got your pens and pads, man. This is about to be one of them presentations.
All right, can you see the whole screen, Rich? Is it too
No,
big or
you good. You good. You
that's
good.
good? Let
Yeah.
me see what it looks like. Hold on. I'm checking just to see my. Okay, cool. All right, so I present to y'all Star Genetics. Let's get it cracking.
Oh yeah.
All right. So man maintains his awareness in the rhythms of his place in space. So it's dope that Rich started off with the preview, of the upcoming album, because it has this whole thing got to deal with vibration, sound, frequencies,
Rhythm.
timing. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
When you think about the stars, we have to talk about the clock of destiny, and the clock of destiny represents a divine clock. Each one of us have our own natal chart, and our natal charts are snapshots of the point in which we came, we entered. You see, and that's a fingerprint in regards to who we are. And when you look at that natal chart, it ain't nothing more than a timing mechanism. You know, stars are portals to the gods in which we commune. So just like I speak of entheogens being God's phone number, the stars are mediums in which we are able to connect with higher divinities. Hence why every time there's like we just had a meteor shower, I think it was the Leonids, right? We had the Leonids meteor shower. We have solar eclipses. Anytime there are celestial events occurring, these are the times where we do, our most rituals. These are the times when we do our communions and we really connect. Why do we wait for celestial events to take place in order to do these things? This is because there is a connection that takes place during these times, once again, times that allows us to be able to connect with certain things that, you just can't connect to every day. It's just like waiting on, a bus to come. Like the bus stop is there. You want to go to where you're going, but none of that matters. What matters is, when does the bus arrive? It only arrives certain times. So when it arrives at that time, you get on the bus and you're able to get to where you need to go. It's not chronobiology, the science of our bodies, physiological processes, and anatomical structure relation to vibrations and the motions of stellar systems, suns, moons, stars, and celestial bodies. So chronos represents time, as in chronology. Biology, right, is the study of life. We have chronobiology. So if we have circadian rhythm and we got chronobiology, and chronobiology is circadian rhythm, which is based on what? Light. Where does our light come from? Our light comes from what? A star. Where else does the light come from? The moon. Where else does the light come from? The celestial stars. So that would mean that our chronobiology is directly connected to the lights and the frequencies that are coming from the heavenly bodies. So we are directly attuned to that. So let me give you some analogies of the body, So pulsars, all right? These are different cosmic entities, right? That exist. We got pulsars, right? As the heart and ATP synthase. Okay, so the ATP synthase, which I talk about all the time in the mitochondria, and the heart generating and emitting the electromagnetic field, right? Through the ATP synthase spinning 1,500 times a second. These rapidly rotating neutron stars emit beams of radiation. In the body, the heart might be seen as a pulsar pulsating an electric field from the spinning ATP synthase going 1,500 cycles per second, generating the electromagnetic field in the heart. So just as pulsars emit this huge energy in consistently regular pulses, the heart distributes energy consistently to keep the body functioning. So we're going to keep seeing these parallels between all of these powerful cosmic bodies as well as what goes on inside of ourselves.
This super fire already, man. God damn.
Black hole. Okay, these objects have such a strong gravitational pull that not even light can escape. Now, what else you don't do that? You already know. Melanin, right? And black holes have a fundamental characteristic of absorption. Melanin absorbs what they would say harmful UV rays. We convert them into what we can use them for, converting them to harmless heat, while black holes absorb everything, including light, due to their immense gravitational force, both reducing entropy and establishing order in the system. Now, you know you got a pupil in which all light enters the eye. We know everything we see don't even exist, but we stitch it together in our mind, which means it's like a black hole because nothing escapes. It all gets sucked inside of us and we create the world we're experiencing externally, internally. White hole, theoretical opposite of the black holes, from which matter and energy can't enter but can escape. So it's the opposite, spitting out the power, right? They could be compared to our healthy, optimized cells, which effectively convert light energy and allow it to flow out to maintain bodily functions. All right, let's keep it trucking. Comets, asteroids, meteors, right? These small bodies travel through space, sometimes colliding with planets and causing change. These could be seen as the enzymes and the hormones, okay? Small but critical components that travel through the body, sparking necessary changes and reactions when they collide with their target cells.
Damn.
Come on, man.
You compared asteroids to hormones?
Come on, baby. What? What? Yes.
No, keep it going.
Yes.
Keep it going.
Ain't playing out here.
Keep it going.
Planets. In a solar system, right? Planets revolve around a star. In the body, organs can represent planets, each playing a unique role, but all revolving around the central sun and axis of the body needed for energy and life-sustaining light. And you know, you ain't supposed to just be sitting down all day. You're supposed to be in motion. And as you move, as you create the flow and dance of the body, those organs are flowing around your central axis the same way that planetary bodies would be rolling around one. Right? Nebula. A nebula is a birthplace of stars formed by the dust and gas in space. This could be seen as stem cells in humans, where new cells are continuously being generated. That's right. You got stem cells, baby. You can make stem cells into any type of cell you want in your body, constantly being produced like a nursery, just like the nebula. Quasars, extremely bright objects powered by accretion of material onto massive black holes. Quasars might be compared to the human brain, an organ of immense energy consumption and activity, driving the function of the entire body. Supergiants. These stars are very bright, very massive, undergoing rapid changes. They could be compared to the body's musculature, the most massive system in the body, which is responsible for movement and physical change. Blue dwarfs. These are small, hot, blue stars, very dense, very heavy, very powerful, right? This is like what Mjolnir was made from, that Thor be carrying around. They could be compared to the mitochondria, of course, because the mitochondria has 30 million volts that get generated in this crystal in a membrane, which is the same as a lightning bolt. Hence, Thor is the lightning guy, right? The powerhouses of the cell, small but vital in converting light and providing energy. Galaxies consist of millions and billions of stars and other matter, all interacting with each other, other gravitationally. Okay, so how will we compare this to the microbiome with its numerous single cell organisms all interacting could be seen as a galaxy. Each microbe a star, emitting high amounts of light within your gut, contributing to the larger interconnected whole. You ain't playing, man. The core. All right. So now we getting into the actual anatomy of a star. Stars are made up of different parts. So the core of a star, where nuclear fusion takes place, can be compared to the human's body metabolic processes, right? Where they happen at a cellular level, and particularly the mitochondria, often referred to as the powerhouse of the cell, or where food and oxygen are converted into energy through a process called cellular respiration. This is somewhat akin to the fusion process in the star's core. Plus, when we spoke on our show a few months ago, and I was talking about the fact that we have the ability through the the magnesium ATP particle accelerator, which is in the mitochondria, which is made of the ATP that the mitochondria makes, is able to create a nano-sized particle accelerator inside your cells that accelerate hydrogen protons at such a vast speed that you are able to make elements out of other elements. You can fuse elements into higher elements, and you could break them down into lower elements. This is the fusion fission process that takes place, in the core. Radiative zone. This could be likened to our circulatory system, which transports nutrients, hormones, and oxygen throughout our bodies, akin to the slow zigzag energy transfer of the radiative zone. This convective zone, this could be seen as our skin. Obviously, when we work out, when we bust a sweat, when we do it, you know what I'm saying? To our body's processes of thermoregulation, the method by which our bodies maintain their core internal temperature, right? 98.6. Just as the convective zone involves a cycle of heated plasma rising and falling, our body responds to temperature changes by either sweating to cool down or shivering to heat up. The photosphere. This is the visible layer of a star, analogous to our skin. For people with melanin-rich skin and type 4 hair, this would mean skin that's highly efficient at protecting the body from UV radiation, or rather utilizing UV radiation, and hair that provides a protective barrier and efficient heat dissipation. All right, chromosphere. Just as the chromosphere of a star emits a reddish glow, so too does human skin. We have a dermatome, all right? Sometimes flush, or it changes color in response to various physiological factors such as emotion, exertion. You talk real nice to the right to the right female, she's gonna be blushing. You know what I'm saying? And then you talk to her even more, she'll be flushed. You know what I'm saying? So we change them colors all the time. All the time. Corona. The corona of a star, all right, visible during a total eclipse, can be likened to the body's auric field, okay, or the electromagnetic field that is said to surround each and every person, like rising off of them like an etheric vapor. You know what I'm saying? Like an etheric vapor. Because we shining. So, the life cycle of a star is almost like cells being made. You know what I'm saying? We got the nebula, the dust cloud, the globule, right? Brown dwarf, main sequence star, red giant, white dwarf, black dwarf, supernova, neutron star, black hole. And I know you want to say black hole. Well, we've always heard that electrons pop in and out of existence, like where they be going. They're a form of a black hole. We pop in and out of existence and go back to the source. We're forms of black holes. You know what I'm saying? So we go through all these processes, as stellar beings. Okay, stellar beings. They have the Stellar Awards, right, to celebrate stars on Hollywood. They got the Walk of Fame where they have all of the stars on the ground. So we all know that we all have this cosmic power. All right, so nucleotides and amino acids, building blocks of life. Nucleotides that make up DNA and RNA, as well as amino acids, form proteins, have been found in meteorites. I'm going to say that again.
Say that, please.
Meteorites. Okay, we have found building blocks of life in meteorites that's landed on Earth in the molecular clouds between stars. So they've been in meteorites and they've been in the molecular clouds between stars. This suggests that the basic components of life can form in space and potentially be delivered to planets like Earth.
Shit.
Organic molecules, which are the basis of life as we know it, have been detected in the interstellar medium, the matter that exists in the space between star systems in the galaxy. This is like the interstitial fluid. This is like the extracellular matrix in the body. Right. As well as in the atmospheres of comets and on the atmospheres of comets. You got to hear that. Like comets be having atmospheres. And on the surfaces of asteroids. This supports the idea that the basic ingredients for life can form in space and possibly contribute to the genesis of life on a planet if conditions are right. Panspermia. Now, I know y'all heard this term before. If life or genetic material did arrive on Earth from space, it would have needed to survive the harsh conditions of space travel, including radiation, temperature extremes, and the impact with Earth. Microorganisms known to exist on Earth today, such as tardigrades, these are the water bears, right, are incredibly hardy and can survive in these extreme conditions, including the vacuum of space. This shows that it is theoretically possible for life or genetic material to survive such a journey. Now, we know that I ain't been out in space. Most of the people watching ain't been out in space. We don't know what's popping in space. Okay, we don't know if it's a vacuum. We don't know if it's water. We don't know if it's a sea moss gel, etheric gel. All we know is it is a ether, so to speak. It is an outer space. It is an extension or medium between where we are and other destinations to go through. And whatever that medium is, it's an extreme medium. All right, with very extreme and harsh conditions in order to get from one to another. This is why you got to vibrate higher. This is why you have to resonate on a higher vibration in order for you to get from one location to another. Carbonaceous meteorites. Okay, these are some sources. All right, I just put these up for y'all to screenshot. Y'all can look them up yourself. Carbonaceous meteorites contain a wide range of extraterrestrial nucleobases. The nucleobases are what? Adenine, thymine, guanosine, cytosine, the pyrimidines, and the purines that are the steps of the ladder of our DNA, of our genetic material. All right. A bacterium that can grow by using arsenic instead of phosphorus. Okay, come on now. Extraterrestrial ribose and other sugars in primitive meteorites. All right, screenshot. Check these papers out. All right, so let's start getting into some science because I got to start getting deep up in this thing.
Oh yeah.
Concept of alternating current. Okay, this is an AC generator. All right, we talking about engine and creating power and electricity because when you talk about stars, you're talking about mechanisms that are able to produce exorbitant amounts of power. Okay, so we need to start understanding electricity and magnetism. So in the concept of an AC generator, it can be somewhat simplified by comparing it to the idea of an inside-out magnet. So if you think of a magnet and its properties and flip it inside out, that's a AC generator. At its core, an AC generator, also known as an alternator, all right, is composed of a coil of wire that rotates within a magnetic field. When this coil rotates, the magnetic field creates an alternating voltage in the coil, which in turn produces an alternating current. Now, imagine a stationary magnet, a stator, right? And remember, these are the same terms that they use for the ATP synthase in the mitochondria. It's made of a stator and a rotor. Those are the two parts of the ATP synthase enzyme in the inner membrane of your mitochondria. That is concentrated in your heart and brain. That is responsible for creating the torus field of your electromagnetic field that you emanate from your body all day, every day. And these are the same terms. Stationary magnet, stator, that is turned inside out. So the magnetic field it produces is on the inside. Now imagine a rotating magnet, rotor, on the inside of this stationary magnet. When the inner magnet rotates, it continuously changes the orientation of the magnetic field in relation to the outer magnet field. This constant change in magnetic orientation induces an alternating voltage in the stationary coil wound around the stationary magnet, generating an alternating current. The essence of this analogy is that of having a coil rotate within a static magnetic field, all right, traditional generator, all right. The inside out model emphasizes a static coil with a rotating magnetic field inside of it. Alternators like those in cars, this inside out concept is applied. The coil or the stator is stationary. The magnetic field produced by the rotor rotates, inducing an alternating current in the stator. This inside-out design is efficient, especially for applications like vehicles, as it simplifies the electric connections to the output, since the stator where the current is generated does not move. So the alternator that's in the car, the AC generator that you see producing voltage, is nothing more than a magnet turned inside out. All right. Now we about to go somewhere. We about to go somewhere, y'all. A sine wave is a mathematical curve that describes a smooth periodic oscillation. It is the most fundamental wave shape for several reasons. Okay, you see the sine wave on the screen, right? Simple harmonic motion. A sine wave represents the most basic single frequency form of repetitive oscillation. This can be seen in systems that exhibit simple harmonic motion, like a mass on a spring or a swinging pendulum in the absence of any friction or air resistance. Frequency representation. The sine wave is the simplest form of wave, having only a single frequency component. Other more complex shapes can be described as a sum of multiple sine waves or different frequencies, amplitudes, and phases, a principle central to Fourier analysis. Y'all can look Fourier analysis up, but we just talking about sine waves as a simple wave. All right. So why are we talking about sine waves? A sine wave is a smooth wave that oscillates symmetrically above and below the x-axis. So you got the x-axis is the horizon. The y-axis is the sun rising. I'm going to say that again. The x-axis is the horizon that you look at in the morning. The sun rising up the horizon, going straight up into the sky, that's the y-axis. So a sine wave is a smooth wave that oscillates symmetrically above the horizon and below the horizon. Above the horizon. Does that sound like somebody we know? At a consistent manner. The wave completes a full cycle when it returns to its initial position after reaching its peak positive amplitude passing through zero, reaching its pink negative amplitude, and then returning back to zero. Whoa, what does that sound like? We about to see real soon. Some more terms. Red shift, blue shift. Now, this is important because, you know, my brother's his name Red and Blue. You look at the Matrix, you got the red and blue pill. When you look at the leader of Marvel Comics, you got Spider-Man. He got a red and blue outfit. Captain America got a red and blue outfit. If you look at the head of DC, who's at the head of that? Superman. What he got? He got a red and blue outfit. Who's the head video game character? Mario brother. Oh, he got a red and blue outfit. It's like no matter where you go, you're going to see this red and blue because it represents a phenomenon that occurs with electricity and magnetism. And what is it? So when an object in space, like a star or galaxy, is moving away from us, the light emitted from that object gets stretched out, causing its observed wavelength to move towards the red end of the electromagnetic spectrum. We know the red part of the electromagnetic spectrum is where you find infrared and red and closer to the radio wave. So that's a longer, slower wave. When you go towards the blue and the purple, it's a higher frequency. It's a smaller, more powerful wave. All right. This is analogous to the sound of a car engine dropping in pitch as it moves away from you. So it red shifts as it moves away and it blue shifts that come toward. You could tell this with a B. If you hear a B around you and it's a real low tone, that means that it's leaving. If it's a high pitch, that means it's coming towards you. This is something to use out in nature. Blue shift, the opposite effect happens when the object in space is moving closer to us. Okay, the light gets compressed and its observed wavelength moves towards the blue end of the electromagnetic spectrum. Analogously, it's like the pitch of a car engine rising as it approaches you. You know what I'm saying? It's coming close to you and then as it goes away. This is red shift and blue shift in regards to light. I'm gonna bring all this together. Magnetic poles. Magnetic poles are regions where the force of a magnet is strongest. North pole divergent. When considering a bar magnet, you could think of the magnetic field lines as diverging from the North Pole. Okay. This is analogous to a source or starting point, okay? Shooting up, okay? Similar to the aurora borealis at the North Pole, all right? That's shooting out. South pole convergent. Conversely, the magnetic field lines converge or come together at the South Pole. This is analogous to a sink or an endpoint. So now the lines are coming together and compressing. One is stretching out and expanding, right? We call that centrifugal. We call that rarefaction. We call that diverging. And then you have converging, or you have compression, or you have centripetal, or you have what they call when you have the golden spiral, you have infinitely going outward and you have an infinite going in, but it never collapses because that golden ratio allows it to constantly go into the tightest space of itself, but it never collapses. It's like an infinite compression. So the divergent aspect of the North Pole can be linked to blue shift, where lighter radiation is coming towards us, but like how field lines emanate from the North Pole of a magnet in terms of atomic particles, it can be thought of the repulsion between similar charges. All right, so now we see this property occurring on an atomic scale, because what are atoms? What are atoms? What are atoms but small microscopic magnets? They're atomic, sub-sized, nano-sized magnets that exist in the air. And as they interact with each other, they go by the same laws and rules that magnetism and electricity goes by. All right. So when you look at an atom has a north pole and a south pole. It has a red shift and a blue shift. It has the same properties, where it has expansion properties and it has compression properties. And depending on how you put atoms together and what molecules you make and what elements you put together will determine what you can manipulate in this realm of form and creation. The convergent aspect of the South Pole, where magnetic fields converge, can be analogous to redshift, where light is moving away from us and on an atomic level can be seen as the attraction between opposite charges. All right. So if we're converging at the South Pole and that's compression, that's going to be more like protons, because that's the mass, that's the nucleus, that is the hard, heavy mass part of the atomic properties of an atom. But then when we're dealing with the expansion part, that's going to be more like the electron, because the electron is in an orbital. It could be at any place at any time within that space. So now we see the red shift and the blue shift has how it aligns with atomic properties and subatomic particles. So we're taking the same properties that exists on a celestial cosmic scale of a star, and we're able to look at it in the parallels of it on a subatomic scale that makes up and stitches together the reality of our form, step by step. I ain't forgot about the sine wave. I put that in y'all heads real quick, because I'm about to slam dunk that thing in a minute.
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
DNA built from water. Yeah, I had to just let that.
Yeah, I know. I know. I know. Oh yeah.
I had to be quiet after that.
I know. Go ahead.
DNA built from water. So here's a brief overview of the experiments of Montanet. Montanet is a scientist from France. Okay, his team did an experiment. What did they do? They took two test tubes, one containing a tiny piece of bacterial DNA diluted in water, and the other containing only water. Okay, the DNA solution was filtered to ensure no physical DNA remained. Okay, electromagnetic stimulation. Both test tubes were surrounded by a weak electromagnetic field of 7 hertz. This was done by using an external device to induce the field. After a certain period, the water-only test tube was said to contain the imprint of the DNA, which could then be teleported. I'm going to say that again. Which could then be teleported or used to create the DNA by a polymerase chain reaction, a common technique used to amplify DNA sequences. Now, what everybody been using over the past few years, huh? People had to take tests, PCR tests. That stands for polymerase chain reaction, huh? And with this PCR test, you're able to amplify genetic material. Well, in this test done by this scientist, this was like maybe I think this was like 2013 when he did this. He was able to teleport or use to recreate the DNA by polymerase chain reaction, right? Montanet took a step further by suggesting that if the memory of the DNA was recorded as a digital file, then transmitted via email to another location and played into another sample of water, the DNA could be reconstituted in the water sample. Wait a minute. You telling me that cats emailed the frequency of DNA, and when the person caught the email on the other side, the DNA built itself back in water? So that means life itself can be transmitted based on electromagnetic signals. If y'all look back to the Cambrian explosion, every diverse animal that exists that represents life today appeared overnight. Based on history, go read biology and look up the Cambrian explosion. Every animal appeared overnight. Like one day there was just sludge. The next day you had octopus, dolphins and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So we got an experiment that took place where a cat emailed a signal and built DNA in water from one side of the planet to the other side of the planet. So if they was doing this in 2013, What you think they could do with 5G? I'm just saying.
Mm.
So remember when I was talking about the sine wave?
Right.
As it travels along the x-axis, right? Going up, above the and below. This is the clock of destiny you're looking at right here. This is the astrological clock. We always see it as a circle, but above the x-axis would represent spring and summer because that's when the sun is most prominent, and fall and winter would be below the axis because that represents the death of the sun, right? One's light, one's darkness. We know summer and spring is about the light. That's when everything's growing, thriving, and abundant. We know fall and winter is about death. That's when everything's falling and there isn't as much light and there's darkness and it's cold, right? So we got Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo representing the ascendant, right? and then the descendant, okay, is Libra, Scorpio, Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. The zodiac is a light wave. So your genetics and your influences and how your body's formed and operates is based upon the alignment of the constellations and how they imbue their electromagnetic frequencies and light codes down to you based on this sine wave. Now, what is this called? These are called astrological what, Rich?
What constellations?
No, simpler than that. These are the what of the zodiac.
What's the word, family?
Starts with an S.
What?
People walk up to you, they be like, Rich, what's your
sign.
Oh,
Yeah,
say that again.
Sign.
Hey,
sign.
it's the what?
Sign.
What type of wave is this?
Sign.
Oh,
I get it.
Holy moly, wait a minute.
I get it.
This is the sign of the zodiac.
This is the sign. you a motherfucker, man. He's a motherfucker. Man.
I'm just saying.
Yo, this dude, this should have been on page. Man, listen, man. Y'all know what y'all getting tonight. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Listen,
brother.
it's all good whether they get it or not. It's out there.
Bro,
it's out there
fire.
now.
This is
all right.
fire.
So we got Aries, right? This is the head. It is each one of these signs have a tissue salt. So Dr. Sebi would say it ain't about the elements. You just don't need iron. You just don't need magnesium. You don't just need calcium. You need tissue salts. You need iron phosphate. You need calcium sulfate. You need silica dioxide, right? These are the tissue salts that are aligned with each sign of the zodiac. So you got salt, right? Kali phosphoricum. Kali is potassium. It's the K on the periodic table because it stands for kali, as in alkali. So alkali phosphoricum is potassium phosphate, right? This is inflammation, fever, exhaustion, stress, and nervous disorders. When you have those intact, this salt intact, you don't deal with those things. Taurus, sodium sulfate. Body fluids, helps with liver issues, flu, and asthma. So when you have these issues, it means that you are deficient in these particular tissue salts. Because in alchemy, there is a trinity. It is sulfur, mercury, and salt. The sulfur represents the sun, solar aspect, as we're speaking about right now. The mercury represents Mercury, Hermes, Tahuti, the communication between the light bodies and the crystallized salt earth body, you flesh, right? So that's the mercury part, what you're talking about now, the signal, the information, and then the salt is the physical form, the body that is produced based on the proper signaling that happens from the sun, right? So we got Gemini, potassium chloride, right? Respiratory issues, throat issues, okay? Cancer, right, is calcium fluoride, varicose veins, tooth enamel, right? Hemorrhoids. Leo, magnesium phosphate, muscle and nerve issues, spasms, cramps, menstrual cramps, okay? Libra, we got sodium phosphate, okay? Aids with acid neutralization, inflammation, joint disorders. Scorpio, calcium sulfate purifies blood, sores, boils, and pus. Sagittarius, all right, we got silica. This is connective tissue, skin, abscesses, brittle nails. Oh, this is a code right here. I don't know if y'all paying attention. Capricorn, calcium phosphate, bones, teeth, growing pains, osteoporosis, fractures. Aquarius, we know what that is. Sodium chloride, baby, the water bearer. Okay, the kidneys, water balance, watery eyes, blisters, dry stool. And then last but not least, them Pisces, iron phosphate. All right, oxygen, fatigue, inflammation, respiratory issues. What you say?
KT, I didn't know. We didn't see Virgo.
Uh-oh. Did Virgo get skipped? Hold on. Oh yeah, I did skip Virgo.
Oh, how you gonna do me? Like, come on, man. This dude.
No, my bad.
You got me on the edge of my seat.
I got you.
I'm on the edge of my seat waiting.
I got you right here, my man.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Though. It was not intentional. You got to man. Nah. It's potassium sulfate. Solar plexus and the bowels.
Okay.
All right. Potassium sulfate is right there. I got it on the wheel. Yeah, I think it might have got cut off on the screen. My bad for that.
Okay.
My bad for that, Rich. How you gonna do me like that, man? Right? So look at this whitewashed image.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you know this is the same image as a tomb in the sacred text. I know you done seen this image before, right? Where you see the picture of a tomb, Rich, and he's bent with his head.
Yeah,
and the foot over his head like this.
Yeah.
Right. And the reason why he was in this position is because if you look at the tissue salts, right, that correspond to these constellations, right, look how they line up with the organs of the body. So you see the spleen and the lungs and the heart and the nervous system and the brain and the spine, and all of these parts of the body connect with each one.
Mm-hmm.
You know. All right. So that was that. Signs of the zodiac, baby.
That was fire.
Because it's funny. In order for you to know what your ascendant is on your chart, you got to know what time you was born, because what time you was born determines where the sun was on the y-axis.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, so chondrites are a type of stony meteorite that has not been modified due to melting or differentiation of the parent body. They are among the most primitive known rocks in the solar system and contain a significant fraction of minerals known as chondrules. Now, do you notice anything interesting about this term? Chondrites, chondrules are categorized into three groups: carbonaceous chondrites, ordinary chondrites, and instantite chondrites. Based on their chemical compositions, a particularly interesting feature of some chondrites, especially carbonaceous, meaning carbon, is the presence of organic compounds, okay, amino acids, which are the building blocks and play a crucial role in biology. We know that I love pushing a certain type of sea moss.
Chondrus crispus.
Sea moss, chondrus crispus, baby. Yeah. So chondrus means cartilage. So when you say chondrites and chondrules, you're talking about something that has to do with cartilage. Well, cartilage is based on collagen, the most abundant protein in the body. It's what builds the structure of your form. This is the basis of your fascia and your collagen network and your tendons. Mm-hmm. All right. The discovery of amino acids in meteorites led to significant debate and research about the origins of life on Earth. The presence of these extraterrestrial amino acids suggests that the basic building blocks of life can form in space, which in turn means that life might be possible elsewhere in the universe. Some key points about amino acids and chondrites, all right? Diverse array of amino acids have been identified in chondrites, many of which are typically found in terrestrial biology. This suggests a non-biological synthesis. The Murchison meteorite, this is one of the most studied meteorites concerning organic compounds. More than 70 amino acids have been identified in there. 70. Non-terrestrial isotope ratios. The carbon isotope ratios in amino acids from meteorites can differ from those in Earth's biosphere, indicating they are not the result of terrestrial contamination. All right. Synthesis is thought that the amino acids and chondrites formed via non-biological processes possible from reactions in the icy mantles of interstellar dust grains before their star systems formation. Implications for life's origin. The presence of amino acids in meteorites suggests that the early Earth was seeded with these essential compounds, potentially aiding the origin of life. This idea is a component of a broader hypothesis of panspermia. Now, we call it Mother Earth, so it would only seem right that there'd be sperm, there'd be semen that would come rain upon the Earth to get mama pregnant, and she start busting life out. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're saying, and it's called panspermia. In summary, chondrites, particularly carbonaceous chondrites, provide a fascinating glimpse into the early solar system and the chemistry that could lead to the presence of amino acids in these meteorites. Underscores the potential ubiquity of life's building blocks throughout the cosmos. Hold on 1 second. All right. So, do you know that squids and octopi, if they was like on land, they would rule the earth? They are the most complex life forms we got, and the reason why is because they have the ability to rewrite their genes at the drop of a dime. I'm going to say that again. Octopi have the ability to make their own whatever protein they need in a situation. They didn't have it 5 minutes ago. They didn't have it 5 seconds ago. But if they need it in that moment, they're going to make that thing up. We have the ability to do that. We just don't tap into that. And if y'all watch the movie Project Power on Netflix, they talk about how, because we were told we got dominion over the animals. We got all the animals in us. We got fish genes and frog genes. We got all types of animal genes in our genome. And when we tap into those genetics and start expressing these things, that's when we start expressing the power. We be looking for all this power above us and everywhere else. It's all inside. And all the examples is expressive in the flora and fauna that exists in our environment. We look at these plants, we look at these animals, those are mirrors into our potentiality. Now, octopi are called cephalopods. What's the name of our brain? Diencephalon. What does that mean? Octopus and squids are our brain. And the ocean represents the water that our brain sits in our skull. So if you study cephalopods, you'll get a better understanding of how your brain works. And they are able to manipulate pigment, melanin, light like crazy. Except a lot of theirs exist on the surface while ours is deep inside. So yeah, like I said, they have the ability to edit their RNA, which means their messenger RNA. They can make whatever they want and turn it into a protein at the time. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they're so skilled in the ocean. Like nothing can mess with squids and octopi, you know? They stupid with it. And as opposed to their brain, they got, matter of fact, they got what do they got? Four hearts and 8 brains. Their brain is their whole body. It's not just in their head. Like imagine your whole body, and in a way our body is, but we're so cut off, we don't tap into it like that. But their entire body is a brain. All right. So let's get to it. We starting around third. What we at right now? What people talking about, Rich?
Man, I mean, come on, bro. You just gave what the fuck? This is the presentation of the year, my bro. What are you talking about?
Come on, man. Let's go.
Come on, man. Yo, make sure y'all make. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
Bioelectricity over genetics. So it's called star genetics. We talk about genes all the time. I tell y'all that your genes, your nuclear genome is subordinate to the mitochondria. The mitochondria is conditioned, and how it is influenced in the state it is in dictates what gets expressed on the nuclear genome. The nuclear genome is the hardware. The mitochondria is the software. But in this situation, the software encourages the hardware. Now, as much as genes are talked about, we know about epigenetics. We know when we in certain environments that we're able to supersede. Why? Because bioelectricity supersedes genetics. While the genetic code provides the information necessary for protein production and has a role in determining cell fate, right? We're talking about a researcher. This guy's name is Michael Levin. You got to look into this guy. He's a robot. He's a robot. But the research he's doing right now is stupid. So Levin suggests that bioelectricity is what guides the largest scale organization and patterns we see in development and regeneration. In essence, he posits that bioelectric signals can overwrite genetic and biochemical clues. One example is in the planarians. A planarian is and it's funny because we talk about planets, we talk about planes, right? So the most simple organism that is teaching us how to make the most powerful leap in biology is called a planarian. As a model organism, a planarian, or a type of flatworm known for their remarkable regenerative abilities, if you cut a planarian into pieces, let's say 200 pieces, you will get 200 planarians, right? So it's similar to a magnet, in which a magnet has a plane of inertia that sits in between what you would identify as the north area of the magnet and the south area of the magnet. If you break that magnet in half, you do not have a north in one hand and a south in another. You got two magnets. So this worm does the same thing. So 11 studies have shown that that manipulating the electrical properties of the cells at the wounds can change the outcome of regeneration. Okay, for example, you could induce the formation of two heads or two tails in a single worm. The voltage gated channels, these are protein channels on the surface of your cells. You have a cellular membrane. There are gateways or portals to lead items from outside of the cell in the cell. You got different types of membrane proteins. One of them are called voltage gated, meaning that they open and close based on voltage. Where do you get voltage from? From ions, hence so ionic, right? So these ions, cations and anions, are either positively charged like calcium or negatively charged ions. And these ions dictate these membranes opening or closing. Now, the manipulation of these voltage gated channels can be looked at like transistors, on-off switches. And if you manipulate the voltage gated channel to a certain degree, you create an algorithm. And in creating this algorithm, you can induce regeneration. So people think healing and regeneration is the same thing. It's not. Okay, healing, you get a scab, you get a scar, you get scar tissue. The tissue, the cells, not in the same state that they were prior to the cut, the laceration, whatever issue that you incurred. Bones regenerate. You do not look at an x-ray of a bone and see a scar or a scab. That bone regenerates. And this all started with the studies of Michael Becker and the body electric, where he ended up discovering the whole thing about the direct current that induces regeneration in animals. So Michael Levin created a serum that he cut a limb off a frog. Frogs don't grow their legs back. Salamanders do. But he created a serum that he put over the wound of the frog, and over about 6 months, the frog started growing its leg back. And he said it's going to take about 18 months for it to get the whole leg back, but he was able to regenerate a limb on an animal that does not know how to regenerate by creating an algorithm of the voltage gated channels / transistors of the cellular membranes of the tissues. What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is inside of us.
Mm-hmm.
Molecular mechanisms. Levin and his team explored the molecular mechanisms by which cells translate bioelectric signals into changes in cell behavior and fate. This involved looking at how voltage changes can impact levels of various messenger molecules and signaling pathways in the cell. Understanding how bioelectricity shapes growth and pattern formation has significant implications for regenerative medicine. It could pave the way for new therapies where we don't rely on stem cells or gene therapy. So this is where herbs come in, because a lot of different herbs that Sebi speaks of from Honduras, they manipulate voltage gated channels, such as Mimosa pudica, sensitiva. Sensitiva has a great deal of calcium potassium molecules and complexes up in there that manipulate voltage gated channels. Contribo does this. The duck flower does this. You know what I'm saying? The honey does this. These are herbs and things that exist on this planet, natural sources on this planet that manipulate voltage gated channels and create certain algorithms in which your body can tap into the bioelectrical properties. That's why it was the bioelectric. That's what Sebi called it. Like, this is what Levin calls, he's calling it bioelectricity. Sebi said the bioelectric. That was the name of his products, because he understood that you can write your own algorithms and program your body into doing the necessary work. Noether's theorem, this is physics, states that for every symmetry in nature, there is a corresponding conservation law. For example, the fact that laws of physics are the same today as they were yesterday, a symmetry of time, corresponds to the conservation of energy. Essentially, if something remains unchanged, symmetry, something else will be conserved or remain constant in a system. So design denotes function. In other words, if you look at how stars operate, you'll be able to have an understanding of how you operate. If you look at how you operate, you're going to get an understanding of how stars operate. So you got star genetics, because you wouldn't have these genes if it wasn't for the stars.
Facts.
Anatomy of a star and melanin in human skin. Stars radiate energy derived from nuclear fusion. This energy radiates symmetrically, illustrating a balance or conservation of energy in space. These are examples of Noether's theorem. Similarly, melanin in human skin absorbs and distributes UV energy, protecting DNA from damage. The conservation of energy, a principle highlighted by Noether's theorem, can be observed in how melanin processes UV light. Cosmic events led to the formation and dissemination of complex molecules, potentially even organic ones. These events maintain cosmic energy and momentum balance. The proposal that some basic building blocks of life might have interstellar origins suggests a kind of universal conservation of foundational materials. Magnetism, black holes, and melanin. Black holes with their extreme gravitational pull ensure that nothing, not even light, can escape once past the event horizon. This is an ultimate expression of conservation. Energy matter goes in and none comes out. Melanin, as an analogy, absorbs a broad spectrum of light, ensuring protection and energy conservation within human cells. Electromagnetic waves and how our eyes perceive them, again, resonate with conservation principles. The eye receives light, electromagnetic waves, and transforms it into neural signals, conserving the information from the environment. Bioelectricity and genetics. Michael Levin's work suggests that bioelectricity, not just genes, is crucial in determining morphology in organisms like planarians. This idea can be tied to Noether's theorem by considering how the electric potentials or currents might be conserved or balanced to maintain proper function and form. Singularity, black hole, and melanin. A singularity believed to be at the center of black holes is where our current understanding of physics breaks down. Yet it's where all the mass of black holes is thought to be concentrated. This intense concentration and event horizon around it conserve energy and information. Melanin's properties of reducing entropy can be seen as a biological mechanism to conserve energy and maintain order in cells, aligning with Noether's theory's emphasis on conservation linked to symmetries. All right. We're about to wrap it up. Cosmic chronobiology. Light plays a crucial role in synchronizing this internal clock with the environment. Specifically, light affects the stability of protein, which stands for period. We're about to get into this. When light hits the retina, it signals the SCN, which is the suprachiasmatic nucleus in the brain, which is the central circadian pacemaker. Okay. The light information is relayed to stabilize or degrade the period protein, effectively setting the time for our internal clock. Stellar synchronicity. All right, let's do this. Let's bring this thing home. This was gonna blow your mind. So you got genes in your body right now, call clock. You got a gene called clock and a gene called BMAL. And clock stands for circadian locomotor output cycles kaput. And BMAL stands for brain and muscle aren't like one. So you got a clock gene and you got this BMAL gene. And these are transcription factors. And what transcription factors are particular mechanisms that sit on the upstream from your DNA, and they let your enzymes know what part of the gene you want to transcribe, what I want to make messenger RNA from. This is the file. If DNA is a hard drive and genes represent files, transcription factors are a cursor in the computer that lets you know, okay, these are the files that I want to copy. These right here, they're like selectors. They sit in a certain space and they let the enzyme know, okay, downstream from me, these are the factors that I need to copy right now. All right. So that's what transcription factors are. When they bind together, they form something called a pair, which they call a heterodimer because a pair is two, and they can bind to specific areas of your DNA. The clock BMAL dimer, the clock BMAL pair, the tick and the mother-loving talk promotes the expression of various genes. Okay. But for our purpose, we're going to focus on the main ones. One of these genes is called period. You mean like a period of time? And then the other one's called cryptochrome. You know what I'm saying? And cryptochrome is deep because those are these special molecules that exist inside the eye that is responsible for being able to dictate and read the magnetic field lines of the earth. This is what birds use in order to fly across country. This is how they know which way to go because of the cryptochrome that they have inside of them, you know. But chrome means color, and crypto means to what? To decode, right? So we talking about period. We talking about time and light and time here. All right. So you got per and you got cry. You got period and you got crypto, right? So the proteins produced from the per and the cry genes, once synthesized, they accumulate in the cell cytoplasm. All right. After the concentrations increase, they form their own complex, their own pair, right? And then they go into the nucleus. Once they're in the nucleus, they end up bonding with the clock and the BMAL, and that stops the clock and the BMAL from making more per and cry. So then what ends up happening is the purr and cry starts breaking down. As they break down, they're no longer inhibiting the clock and B-mall, so clock and B-mall can make more purr and cry. So the creation of purr and cry, the breaking down of purr and cry, or the creation of period and light, and the breaking down of period and light is the process that constantly takes place inside the suprachiasmatic nucleus that governs your 24-hour cycle. I'm going to say that again. Inside your hypothalamus in your brain, you got the SCN, the suprachiasmatic nucleus that sits right behind your eyes. When I tell all of y'all need to get up in the morning and ground and catch the morning sunlight, and I say, let that light in, that's what it hits. Okay, that's what it hits. That is your biological clock. The neurons that exist in this SCN is what's doing this process. And as it builds up time and light and breaks down time and light, builds up time and light and breaks down time and light, this process creates 24 hours. And this is the 24 hours you experience and split it up between activity and rest. And where is this signaling coming from? It's light. And where's the light coming from? The sun. And what is the sun? A star. And that is star genetics. So, celestial. I'm on here. Go on, laugh.
Oh shit! The fuck just happened?
Listen,
what the hell just happened?
Giving y'all the code, bro.
What the hell just? Yo, listen,
what? Alabama went off. You know what I'm saying?
You
know what I'm saying? I'm feeling Montgomery. I'm feeling the Harriet Tubman.
That hat flew in the air and it was a wrap, huh? That signal went up.
You know what I'm saying? He threw that hat up, baby. And I'm like, man, have a seat. Have a seat.
Oh, wow. What just happened?
All right. So NAMPT and its connection to metabolism, health, and longevity. NAMPT, NAMPT. Nicotinamide phosphororibosyl transferase. That is an enzyme. Ends in ashe. Anytime something ends in ashe, ASE, you know that's an enzyme. Okay. So the enzyme plays a role in the pathway of NAD plus synthesis. It's a crucial molecule involved in the metabolic processes and function of sirtuins, a family of protein related to aging and longevity. Once again, that is time and that is light of the body. Okay. Histonic, one of my products, is a sirtuin activator. All right. It deals with NAD. NAD is like an Uber that carries electrons around the body. So negative ions that are needed to be delivered to certain areas, NAD does this. And NAMPT is responsible for creating exorbitant amount of NAD in the body to do this. All right. The magic ingredient is NMN. Okay. It's think of it like a magical herb essential to the potion. It is what ends up converting NAMPT into the NAD. Now, why is this important? It's important because this NAMPT is based on what's happening with clock and B-mall, what's happening with period and cryptochrome, what's happening with the purr and the cry. If your circadian rhythm is shot, guess what happens? NAMPT drops. It becomes irregular. It's like you're having jet lag. And you're not going to produce NAD. Thus, you're not going to have the electrons for your metabolism. Thus, you're not going to have youth, and you're not going to have longevity. You're going to have senescence, and you're going to have a shortness of life. Look how light and sun and solar genetics connect to the longevity and quality standards of living that you experience here on this plane we call Earth.
Yeah.
Conclusion. In essence, our circadian rhythm, tuned by the stars, governed by genes called clock, B-mall, period, and cryptochrome, orchestrates various molecular events in our body, influencing everything from when we feel awake or sleepy to how metabolism functions. The rhythm ensures that our physiological processes are optimally timed with our daily activities and environments like light. With these rhythms, when these rhythms are disrupted by jet lag, shift work, regular lifestyles, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, up all night, you know, it can have adverse effects on our health. The connection to NAMP and the NAD pathway further links the circadian rhythm to metabolism and longevity, emphasizing the interconnectedness of these processes and their collective impact on health and disease. Thank you.
Hold up. Ladies, give me 1 second. Presentation of the year. I need a virtual hand clap. Presentation of the year, ladies and gentlemen. Presentation of the year. I would like, while KT was talking, you know, Billy just had his awards. I made an award for KT. This is the KT Arts Degree Star Genetics Presentation of the Year Award. I would like to virtually present this to you.
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it, brother. Thank you very much,
for the
man.
presentation of the year. That was amazing, KT, man. I want to thank you know what amazes me, brother? When just seeing something go from the mind to the world that we live in. I went to your lecture last Saturday.
Right.
Like, yo, and we like, what we gonna talk about? I'm like, yo, KT, let's talk about alien genetics, yo. I was like, oh, let's talk about aliens. I'm like, let's talk about alien genetics. KT was like, all right, cool. Then like about 5-10 minutes later, he was like, what you think about star genetics? I said,
he was like,
I said, okay, even better. I said, even better. But it's just amazing how it goes from your mind, and then we're affecting hundreds of thousands of people all over the world. Which was once in our mind just a week ago.
Yes,
absolutely amazing, man. That was amazing. Family, I want y'all to we about to get to a quick Q&A. Make sure y'all show some love to the channel that provides this. You're not getting this anywhere else in the world.
This is free game. This is free game for you. For sure.
A thorough presentation on star genetics. You ain't getting this nowhere else. Not like that. Not like that. Show some love. Hit up the Cash App, $ Black Magic 363. For real. Show some love. Is that wow? I'm for something like this. KT, ask you a couple of questions, and then I'm gonna take a couple. Oh, and by the way, what's your Cash App, KT? Let me put yours up.
No, I don't do the Cash App, but I do I do the website. Y'all could definitely go to the website. Get something from soionicbotanicals.com. And real quick, I could do this too. Let me let's see. I
gotta watch that one. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that one at least 3 times because
everybody gonna have to watch that a few
I'm watching.
times.
I got things in the background happening. The chat. I had to get rid of 1 or 2. And by the way, for any trolls that's in here, I'm getting rid of trolls faster than I've ever gotten rid of trolls before. So I mean, my speed, my band button,
crazy,
my fingers. I've been exercising them, and I'm getting rid of them real fast. So be very careful. Be very careful. But
I'm an ugly old troll living under the bridge. Let me share screen real quick.
Yes.
All right. So tomorrow on my channel, I'm going to be interviewing Willie Lynch Jr. This brother right here, been studied Sabi, ridiculously. He got a company as well. But what makes him so interesting is he accesses the heart chakra. One of the greatest ways to heal is through laughter. And he is actually a stand-up comedian that specifically uses health, alkaline diet as a foundation of his jokes and his material. And some of these jokes he got is wild. He's good. So I'm not just saying it just because it's alkaline. You know what I mean? Not at all. He's a great comedian. So I'm gonna bring him on the channel because he's gonna head the stand-up up at Alkaline Oasis, Mr. G Spot, 958 Halsey in Brooklyn in October 13th. He's gonna be doing that. So tomorrow on my channel, 8 o'clock, I'm gonna be interviewing Willie Lynch, so y'all stop through and check him out for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because I know he's gonna be cracking jokes. I don't even know if we're gonna be able to even do an interview because he's probably gonna be cracking so many jokes the whole time. I'm just gonna be laughing, but y'all could definitely check him out. So we got him coming, and then one more. This the one September 15th at Alkaline Oasis. We got none other than Bow.
Uh-oh.
Yes, Kaba's coming. Baba Kaba is coming to the Alkaline Oasis. He's gonna be going hard in the paint as he always does. September 15th, 2023. So if y'all in the area, Brooklyn, any of the boroughs, Philly, Jersey, whatever, stop through. And then another thing y'all don't know yet is I have my products are in the Alkaline Oasis now. So for all of y'all that's in New York and Brooklyn that's looking for the honey, you know what I'm saying? Y'all looking for Fido, y'all looking for sea moss, y'all looking for Sotriol. It's there. It's at the Alkaline Oasis. So stop in the Alkaline Oasis. And because it's in store, there's going to be a little discount on the products. Believe it or not, you're gonna get a little savings on there. But yeah, check it out. It's convenient. Y'all could go right there, get yourself a smoothie, get a patty. You know what I'm saying? Get a juice or whatever like that, and get some products.
Indeed. Shout out to everybody showing love for tonight's presentation on the Super Chat and on the Cash App. Once again, I want to thank KT. Shout out to Mr. G. Alkaline Oasis is coming along real great. If you are in the New York area, definitely make sure you support that spot. Yes, the new Suit Nectar will be over there. Me and Cambot is actually doing our album release party there, so y'all can look forward to that as well.
Right. That's right. I'm about to be in the building for that. This is the diabetes formula right here. This helps with anemia, lungs, kidneys, but diabetes, Maluminous B. Just the one right here.
KT, I want to start out and you made one of the most popular things people are saying on the internet right now. The internet goes through phases where they say different things like the earth is flat or this or that. They always jump from thing to thing. The Anunnaki, they go from thing to thing on the internet. One of the things that is being said now is that outer space is really in the ocean. It's in the water. So what I want to ask you, and if we're using the as above, so below, for example, if we're using that as an example, if space is filled with stars, what would be considered stars in the ocean? If water can be outer space, what would be the equivalent to stars in the ocean?
Bioluminescence. Bioluminescence. So we got to remember things like the tiger shrimp that is able to punch so hard that it creates cavitation bubbles. And these cavitation bubbles, as they collapse, create a plasma that's hotter than the sun. I'm going to say that again. I think it's some 22,000 Kelvin or something like that, right? So the plasma, as well as bioluminescence, as well as harmonics, will create certain types of light figures, as well as other geometrical patterns as well. And we already know this because when you go to the depths of the ocean where it's pitch black and there's no light, you got all these animals down there that are illuminated. So we know whenever there's a lack of light, their light is going to always be produced, because what is the backdrop to anything that's able to be luminous? It's always darkness.
Right. Indeed. Let me ask you, so, we're talking about star genetics, and I want to be careful with my wording here, because of, YouTube and shit they be doing when you talk about, big pharma. But let's use a star down here, for example, and even your brother Blue Pill says Kanye represents the what is that? The because Drake is Draco.
Drake is Draco.
Kanye is the beer. I think Polaris.
He's Ursa. Yes. Which rotates around Polaris.
So if we're talking about stars and we're talking about the big pharma being able to shut down star power. Kanye said when they gave him them pills, he wasn't creative no more. He couldn't tap into his genius no more.
Right.
Talk to me about, big pharma and its ability to stop all this universe from working the way it works. What exactly is
No, it
happening
doesn't.
inside?
It doesn't stop the universe from working the way it works. You said it yourself. What does pharmacy mean?
Talk to me. Talk to me.
What is the definition of pharmacy? The etymology of pharmacy?
Oh, KT.
Sorcery.
Sorcery. Yeah.
What is sorcery?
Mm.
Sorcery is using the elements in order to perform magic.
Mm.
So if you're not using it, somebody else is going to use it.
Mm.
They're only using magic against us because we don't want to use the magic. If you say the term magic, the most people, they go, there you go, talk about that magic then again. Till somebody do some magic on you. You know what I'm saying? But you still got areas in Africa ain't never been colonized. You still got areas here on this land ain't never been colonized either. You know what I'm saying? So there's obviously frequencies and ways of doing things that prevent the compromising of culture, tradition, you know what I'm saying, and land. That exists. It's just that, come on now, when we talking about Kanye, Kardashian, his mom, like there's a lot of no-nos, man, that he's a Gemini. He's one of the most greatest examples of Gemini, where he got this kind of extreme, height, and he got this extreme depth where it's like, how could you do that, dog? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's another thing that exists in celestially is Saturn. And Saturn represents what? Karma. So we know that these people love worshiping Saturn. So when you are not following through with things you're supposed to do, then they can siphon karma to do the work for them.
Oh, shit. So star seeds touch down on this planet and they try to get to them immediately through, different things when they're born. And if that doesn't work, once they hit the school system, they label them as ADHD. They give them these labels and they tell the parents, hey, give them a little Ritalin, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. What can you tell the parents out there about their star seeds and protecting them? What type of foods and stuff, or what do you recommend for the star seeds out there to continue to tap into their potential, regardless of if they get caught with some system or indoctrination?
Yeah, stay away from the school lunch. You know what I'm saying? Stay away from the I can't even say it on here, but them thing that they be wanting you to do that you might have to get an exemption for, stay away from that. You want the children to eat, fruits. You want them to eat you want a juice for them. You want to give them green juice. You want to take them outside, keep them in nature, make sure they get mud and grass stains on them and they looking at butterflies and they playing. You know what I mean? You want them to experience these things. Don't let them be on that tablet, you know what I mean, and spending all that time in front of screens and all of that. Give them activities to do. Get them a bike, get them a skateboard, get them an instrument, And if you really want to make sure that your child is is going to be protected, you might want to think about.
There you go. One show can't go by without KT. KT not let one show go by. Oh man, this dude here, man.
This is the Taurus. This is the hyperboloid. This is the universe right here. Huh? You know, only 2 movies made $1 billion this year.
Which ones?
The second one was Barbie.
Shit, it made $1 billion already? It just.
But do you know who's numero uno?
Who?
Oh,
Super Mario.
Wow, that's right.
The Mushroom Man.
Yeah, that thing did like almost 1.5 billion.
Damn, wow.
Yeah. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's because about dimensions and portals and mushrooms. Maybe. I don't know.
You know what's funny?
And
That's the
that's
only
and Dune 2
this year.
Dune 2 coming out on my birthday, and I can't wait for that. And that's all about shrooms.
Mm.
The spice melange. Oh, listen, I can't wait.
I'm about to get into some questions from the family. I want to ask one more health thing. The shutting down the star seeds, and then Then I'm gonna get into some of your questions, and then we're gonna get out of here.
You know what that is, right, Rich?
That's the duck flower, right? Is that what it's called?
This
Right.
Mr. G got him up at the Alkaline Oasis too. So if y'all in Brooklyn, y'all want a duck flower, he got him up in there. Y'all playing.
Yeah, I didn't try that yet. I didn't try it yet, KT.
Yeah, when you ready, Rich? When you trying to? Oh,
I think
my God.
next week. Next week.
Oh,
When I get when I get the next honey,
next
I'm
honey delivery.
Too.
Okay, I got you.
I'm gonna get that too. I'm gonna get that too. I'm finally gonna use it. Finally gonna use it. Yo, and by the way, no, why does coconut water taste so good? Opposed to this shit tastes good like a motherfucker.
Because it got that natural chemical reaction that happens where it turns pink, so it's more pure. It's like the purest coconut water you could get next to drinking it straight out the coconut. Oh yeah,
and drinking this, I'll be like, God.
I think you glitching a little bit, Rich.
Oh, I don't even. Yeah. You can see me. Am I good now, KT, or am I still glitching?
You good right now. I'll let you know if you stop. I think you're straight.
All right, let me just stop talking. Let me get to some questions from the people.
Okay. Yep, you just stop right there.
Can you ask the brother about the mushrooms they found at how do you say that word, KT? Chernobyl?
Mm-hmm.
Chernobyl, yeah. They said the melanin in the mushrooms are protecting them from the radiation.
Yeah, they're so mushrooms are one of the main sources of melanin. Melanin, they produce high concentrations. This particular strand of mushroom, that because you got to think about this, the mycelium network exists all over the planet, right? And there's traces of mushrooms that exist that are older than the traces of plants. So it's thought of that the plant life exists because of the mushrooms that exist before them, and that the soil and everything like that was created and formed to give rise to plant life. So everywhere you go, there's mushrooms. Mushrooms is not this. This is the fruit. There's like you see an apple tree, right? This is the apple. But if I pick an apple off of a tree, you're not gonna say there's no more tree, right? There's still a tree. There's still branches, leaves, and so mycelium is actually the mushroom. This is just the fruit of the mycelium. So mycelium grows all over the world, right? And based upon whatever environment exists, because it's about bioelectricity, it's about what's happening in that area. So based on that situation, harming the organism that is Earth, right? It had to produce the necessary fungi that would able to produce the right amount of melanin to absorb and transmute that radiation. Now Chernobyl is a wildlife sanctuary where it's thriving. Did you know that, Rich?
No, that's great. Wow.
You didn't know that? Yeah. So it's no longer this big radiation like fallout place where nothing's growing. It's thriving. It's like the Amazon. They got animals and everything all over there now because of this mushroom, this melanated mushroom. Yeah.
Wow. Hold up.
Somebody asked, can pregnant women use shrooms? Pregnant woman, my mother was eating shrooms when I was inside her womb. So you can, but you know, when I tell people about shrooms, I'm not saying just run out and just be eating, you know, you need to meet somebody or know somebody that knows what they're talking about. You got to do your research like with anything else. And I suggest you microdose. You know what I'm saying? My mother was just eating them. Some take high doses, but I would say to microdose, and you got to get it from a respected source. You know. Can you ask KT?
Can you ask KT? Is it safe on
Oh, go ahead.
dialysis to use duck flower? Yeah, is it safe
Oh,
for somebody on dialysis?
Somebody that's on dialysis. Yeah, I mean, no matter what situation you're dealing with at the time, duck flower is a good thing because it's going. The reason why you're having kidney issues is because there's a problem with your kidneys. Your kidneys are inflamed. There's a bunch of mucus in the kidneys. There's a bunch of inflammation in the kidneys. It's not operating properly. There's toxins in there. There's heavy metals in there. And the duck flower is going to purge from all areas of the body. You know, so whatever is not urinating properly, then you're going to urinate, you're going to defecate, you're going to throw up, you're going to sweat. It's not going to come out your nose. Wax might even come out your ears. Like every hole is spitting stuff up out of it. You know.
Okay, KT, why people are on dialysis can't drink water? That they're told not to drink water.
Because of most water is mineralized, and if it's mineralized, it has ions, and you have to be careful with certain minerals that are going in. Because dialysis, the natural dialysis, is distilled water. Why? Because distilled water has no minerals; it's just pure water. It's just pH is neutral. You know, so you don't know what minerals might be in that spring water, so they tell you don't. You know, but I'm not with that. And then in addition to that, just the whole thing with you needing to urinate. Some people can't urinate, they're not urinating, but yet you're constantly putting more fluid into the system, and they would say that you're making a worse situation. But the problem is your water is not properly structured like it once was, and that's why you need to have melons and dark berries and drink like hibiscus and a sorrel and things like that, and those would be, you know, very very helpful for the kidneys in situations like that. And I would say safe. Duck flower is not safe. It's very aggressive. Do you understand what I'm saying? It is no.
Yeah. Let's
You know what I'm saying? So it says
I
it on
told
my
y'all
site.
before. Yeah. Would you advise that for somebody who has to work like a 9 to 5? Should
Not
they
the
take
day
it if
of.
they know they got to
No,
go to work?
You take a duck flower, you
Not
don't
the
need
day
to
of,
do
all right.
nothing that day. Next day, you good.
Yeah.
Next day, you good. But the day of, nah, don't pop no duck flower, throw it in. No. And fast.
Yeah.
I gave somebody a duck flower last week. You know what I mean? They might be watching right now. Yeah, I'm talking about you. They went ahead, had duck flower. They ate something too, and they still threw up. They still went through the purge, and they said they felt skinny afterwards. So you know what I mean? They felt like they got a lot out, but they was like, "Yo, I think it would have been a lot stronger had I not eaten." And I'm like, "Hey, eating what? I told you not to eat nothing." You know.
Indeed. Let's get to the Can you ask Brother AT what role product D in the star genetic body?
Oh, that's a great question. Docosahexaenoic acid, right, is the molecule that is responsible for converting light into direct current. So when I was talking about that inside out magnet of the AC generator, that's what it does. It takes light. That's why it's the highest concentration of DHA is in our eyes and in our brain. All right. Eyes and brain. We use that to see. We use it for all of the chronobiology that is occurring, you know what I mean, in the retinal hypothalamic tract, you know, that deals with being able to create or rather modulate, regulate circadian rhythm, which in turn is able to deal with all the peripheral clocks of our organs and things of that nature. That's what DHA assists with, the efficiency of all of that. So the more DHA you have, the higher amount of omega-3s you have, the more electricity you got in order to do, you know, all of those processes.
Tell them your website again, KT.
Soulionic.com. You need me to write it?
Yeah. Put it in the chat or send it to me, and I'll put it.
Hold on, I'm about to type it in the private chat, right? So And he's gonna have it in the
Description. Yeah, just
description
just
too.
just send it to me and
Yeah,
text me to just
I
to
just
remind
I
me.
just put it in the private chat.
um, there was a question I want to ask. I don't.
And
Uh,
is Decosa means 20, 22. Decosa. Decosa is 22 as a prefix. Decosa hexa, because it's based on carbon, and carbon is 6, right? So decosa hexaenoic acid. Just type in DHA in Google, it'll come up and you'll see how to spell it.
can you ask KT what can I do to heal anxiety and panic attacks naturally?
Oh man, smoke some weed. No, I'm just playing. Ground is one of the greatest ways to get rid of anxiety. You'll find out the minute you take them shoes off and go outside and stand in that grass, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna feel a great relief on you. Another way is guaco, palo guaco, which is one of my products. That's an anxiolytic. It helps with anxiety. It's on the site, palo guaco. As well as things like hops and valerian root. You know, those are like, and soursop leaves. These are all kind of like sedatives. They help to relax you, calm you. Chamomile, you know, chamomile is another one that's going to calm and relax you. These are all blue vervain. That's another one. These are all calming, kind of relaxing herbs that'll put you, you know, in a good headspace as well.
Indeed, indeed. That this can you explain shooting no fallen stars?
Well, yeah, falling stars and shooting stars are meteorites with a broken up asteroids, you know what I'm saying, as well as the chondrites that I was talking about in the presentations, you know. So those are certain bodies that, you know, they break apart coming through the atmosphere, and you know they're going at an enormous speed, and because of the elements inside of them and the gases that in the atmosphere, you know, it puts on a light show, you know, a light show. And I think in regards to like on the flat earth tip, a video that I saw some time ago, they was like, we constantly are we talk about the water cycle in regards to the evaporation of aqueous substances, but we never think about all of the fat soluble substances that go up into the atmosphere, all the oils, all of the fats, you know, all things like that, and they coalesce into certain things and they fall back down. That's what they was talking about on there. I found that as an interesting take, because you know, when the flat earth, they get questions all the time, so they got to get real creative.
Yeah,
They got to get that creative off a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? But
oh
that
yeah.
that was one excuse I saw, explanation rather I heard, that was quite interesting.
For those of you who are asking his website, I just pinned it at the top of the chat. So it is at the top of the chat. I just pinned it. All right.
Yeah, solionicbotanicals.com. I usually
Let's
have
get to some
my
super chat questions.
got my
What does you can hear me, KT?
yeah, I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, the next question. Kelly wants to know, what do you recommend for good gut health, my brother?
Oh yeah, my Kamiani tonic, Kamiani, Kamiani. That's for the gut. Of course, sea moss. Conscious crispus is going to be amazing for the gut, you know. Okra, eat more okra, eat it cooked, eat it, you know, roasted, eat it fresh and raw. That mucilage is everything for the gut. And then I have these herbs called quachalalate and capulquin. So you know, go on the site, look under my herbs. You know, I have those there. Those are real good for gut health as well. And also get that tummy in the sun. You know, y'all women love showing y'all stomach. Put that stomach in the sun. Let that sun hit that tummy. That's going to help a lot as well.
So, okay. So the sun on the stomach is not enough just to let the sun hit your face, huh?
Nah, you wanted to hit the whole body. Your whole body is your face.
Hit the whole body.
Yeah. Yeah, I be telling women, y'all need to put y'all kitty in the sun and stop playing.
Woo!
Put it in the sun. Yes, light it
Damn.
up. Light
Damn,
it
you
up.
gonna have women out here butt naked, man. Shit.
Exactly.
All right, let's get.
Eh, You're welcome.
I think there's a delay. Is there a delay when me speaking, KT? Can you?
Nah, you good. You good. To me,
Okay.
at least.
All right. Next question. Do our bodies have any connection or relation to the Boots void, the 700 million light year stretch of complete emptiness?
All right. So that's getting into talking about like deep space. You know what I'm saying? So if we're getting into the model that we know about, we have the Bowman shock, which is like the end of our solar system as we're moving through space. And you got interstellar space, but then you have this Boots void, which is like they said is just this vast emptiness. Now they want to know if celestial bodies have any connected to that. Well, no, that's a stretch. That's a void. That's a void. So it's probably something that celestial bodies got to cross, in order to get to other spaces. But in terms of them residing there or there actually being celestial bodies there, I wouldn't know. I just know it to be a void, to it to just kind of be an expanse, so to
Mhm.
speak. And if anything is there, it's gonna be like melanin, because there's definitely a lot of carbon, what you call it, not nanotubes, but they call them like buckyballs. They found a lot of buckyballs and large clouds of buckyballs and carbons and things like that. So it's probably nebula, gaseous things of that nature. But in terms of like celestial properties, big celestial bodies, I'm not sure.
Mhm. Next question, KT. Or tap into the 98% soul DNA. And I got to run use the bathroom. You can answer that, KT.
How do you activate or tap into the 98%? Oh, so the junk DNA is already activated. You don't got to tap into it. It's already being used. So what he's talking about is the fact that, when we talk about transcribing genes, and proteins and things like that, it only accounts for about 2-3% of DNA, and like 97% of it, they call it junk because it's not used, but it is used. It's regulatory genes. It's genes that regulate all the rest of those, dictate how much of it is getting transcribed, how little of it is getting transcribed, how efficiently is getting transcribed, what is getting transcribed. So it's more of a modulator and a regulator of everything else. And then within that junk DNA, there's still other genes that exist there that are just dormant, as well. So in terms of activating them, like I said, you want to ground, you want to get your circadian rhythm in order, you want to breathe correctly, you want to get that light stimulation, you want to raise your vibration. Remember DNA, I was talking about again, teleported in water. So DNA is something that is created from something else. There's already something there. There's a signal already there. And that signal instructs those molecules to come together and make that crystalline antenna. You see what I'm saying? So you need to create the proper conditions in order to tap in to those other things. And when you see superheroes, lots of times those powers come about because you stress, like Aquaman. Aquaman swam all the way to that dock because he was under stress.
Say that last
Under
part. I missed that,
any other
man.
condition, homeboy didn't know he had the moves with that chair. He didn't know he was chairman of the board till he was in that stressful situation. You know what I'm saying? So a lots of
Mhm.
times in stressful situations, we get pressure. That's how diamonds are made, is through pressure. That's how we find out how glorious we are. Michael Jordan was who he was because he got pressured. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people
Well,
are amazing. Like Michael Jackson was the bomb because he was getting his butt tore up. You know what I'm saying? He was getting stressed.
well, let
So
me
a lot of it has to deal with conditions.
let me ask you this. You can hear me, right, KT? I keep
Yeah, I can
echoing
hear
on
you.
my. Can you hear?
Mhm.
All right. So since we're talking about stress, I was going to ask this question earlier, but I bought it. I let the people ask their questions. But since we're talking about stress and we're talking about things you can create under stress, and we're talking about stars, if we look at the definition, hold up, let me put it on the screen
Bust it.
of when a star is born.
Mm-hmm.
A star is born when atoms of light elements are squeezed under enough pressure for their nuclei to undergo fusion. All stars are the result of a balance of forces. The force of gravity compresses atoms into interstellar gas until the fusion reaction begins. And once the fusion reaction begins, they exert an outward pressure. As long as the inward force of gravity and the outward force generated by the fusion reaction are equal, the star remains stable. So, man. Well, did I
That
even
means, in
yeah.
other words, what that means is you're put under a stress that doesn't break you.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You're
Mm.
able to sustain that stress as much as that stress is pressing on you so you can create diamonds out of it.
Mm, mm, mm. And that is the same way a star in the cosmos is made, huh? According to that definition, huh?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Wow.
The stars being created go under the same process as you see with mitosis and the replication of cells in the body.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful
We
family.
are stars, we are galaxies, we are cosmos, we are divine, y'all. We are divine. Y'all know it. You feel it.
Oh
You
yeah.
experience it, you know? And there's way more to tap into in this world.
Let's get to let me see. Are there any more? All right, there's no more super chat questions. So let me see what y'all talking about in the chat. Huh. What a show, right, y'all? What a show. Somebody wants to know, is the duck flower a 6 month? Is it really a 6 month detox in 6 hours?
Yes, it is. You are not going to purge that much in a month and 2 months and 3 months. That thing is a half a year worth of stuff gotten rid of.
Mm.
Yes.
Somebody wants to know, can the sun help with diabetes type 1?
Of course. And I'll tell you how. Because melatonin and insulin have an inverse relationship to one another. As melatonin rises, insulin drops. As insulin rises, melatonin drops. This is why you're not supposed to be eating at night, because at nighttime is dark, and at dark time melatonin rises, so your insulin is going to be down. Thus, you're not going to have a way to process that sugar. But if you are eating and you rise that sugar up, then the melatonin is going to drop. Now you don't have what you need to go to sleep and regenerate yourself. So people that are up late and they're watching TV and they're on their phone and they getting hit with the blue light, that blue light ends up spiking glucose. You produce glucose by exposing yourself to blue light, thus creating diabetes. But when you're in the sun, remember, sun is where carbohydrates grow. You don't see fruit growing in the wintertime. Fruit grows in the summertime. Long solar hours. So carbohydrates are directly connected to long solar hours. So the more sun you get, the more you process carbohydrates, the more you process sugar, the more less likely you'll have diabetes or any insulin sensitivity.
All right. Taisley says, I have bad inflammation in my body. What's good for that?
Ground. CMOS, Phyto Omega-3 on the site, Nesu Nectar on the site, Maluminous B on the site, Guaco Contribo on the site, DHA Chlorella on the site. Anything you get on the site is going to help you with inflammation. But if you want something that's easy, go ground, go forest bathing, meaning go walk in a park with a lot of trees and bushes, you know, and breathe and take in all the terpenes, you know, and the natural oils and the fragrances of the fauna and the flora that exists in your environment.
KT, what is the minimum amount of time a person can ground to see these results? Like, they got inflammation. What's the minimum
I
amount?
say an hour. I say do an hour, man. Give
Shit.
yourself an hour.
God damn, you said an hour. I thought you were gonna say 15 minutes.
Nah,
This nigga said an
my thing
hour.
is, look,
Jesus
my
Christ.
thing is, we talking inflammation, something swollen, something hurting, something in pain, bunch of mucus. You want it to go away. If you walked up to God and said, God, how do I get rid of my inflammation? And God said, all you need is 1 hour. You're gonna be like, damn, God, an hour? Golly, man. I thought you was gonna say just take a pill or something, God. Like, Jesus
we looking
Christ,
for
holy heaven. Like, really?
yeah.
God gonna be like, we'll bump you then. Inflammation for eternity and banish your ass.
Oh man, oh man.
But nah, I would say honestly, I could say 15. I could say 20. It'd be beneficial. But if you do a good hour, she's gonna feel amazing. And the hour is enough for her to be like, yo, I'm about to do like 45 to an hour every day. You know?
What's good for thinning gray hair?
Bantana. You want that Bantana oil off the site, got that Bantana. But you know, that's oxidation of the melanin stores at the follicle at the base. You know, you're having a melanin issue, you know, is the factories are drying up. So you got to figure out how to create more melanin. So you want to get like a black light in your home, which is a UVA bulb and an infrared bulb. And you want to have that stimulation going when you're inside, and you want to get outside more and just start kind of stimulating more productions of melanin, you know, and you want to clean that scalp because it's all plugged up, you know, with all the oils and everything and the grit, you know, and get those pores open. And a combination of that would definitely help.
How to stop smoking, or what products are good to help?
Mushrooms stops a lot of addictions.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
But when you get your circadian rhythm in check and your redox goes up, you know what I mean? Meaning that, you know, one way for men to know they got great redox is if you get wood in the morning. If you get up in the morning and you don't got wood, you got a problem. Say that again. If you're a man and it's the morning time and you ain't had no wood, something's going on. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that, you know, your redox is up, you get those things going. And if you do that, you won't want to smoke. The smoking and a lot of these addictions are because you are deprived of light. So you're trying to get it in different forms, and you're getting it through, you know, through marijuana. And if it's through cigarettes, it's through the nicotine. Because remember, nicotine, and remember earlier, I said NAD. What does NAD stand for? Nicotinamide dinucleotide. Okay, so that's based off nicotine. You know what I mean? So you're trying to get electrons. You're trying to get negative ions. That's why people smoke cigarettes. That's why they calm down. You know what I mean? Because they're replenishing a store. It comes at a cost, but that's what they're doing. You know, so you want to get those ions up naturally. You know, so just get more of that in your system. You know.
All right. Next question. What are the best supplements to help 12-year-olds with high functioning autism?
Get them off the tablets. I have somebody that I know who has an autistic son, and I told her, I said, get a grounding mat and y'all start grounding more. I also gave her some microdose capsules. So they started taking some of the microdose capsules. They started grounding. He started speaking. He wasn't really talking like that before. Now he's talking. Now he's able to like express. He's not like all the way there, but the progress, they had more progress in 3 weeks than she's had in over 10 years with the child. So get like a grounding mat, take them outside. You know what I mean? Get them in nature. You know, you don't want them in no closed room with lights and stuff like that. And then you want to focus on their microbiome. Or autism has a lot, because you ever notice they say you're on the spectrum. Spectrum means light. They telling you, they giving you the clue right there. You know what I'm saying? So get that light thing together and focus on that gut. You get that gut together, you'll have a lot of progress.
Indeed. I'm loving the questions, and I'm loving the answers KT is giving. I know it's helping out a lot of people. We gotta go. I'm gonna take 2 more questions and then we're getting out of here. Want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Want to thank KT for giving us the presentation of the
Thanks for
year.
having me. Oh yeah, big shout out to 19 Keys and High Level Conversations. Because for those of y'all that don't know, I just did a high level conversation with 19 Keys. It just debuted on Saturday, and it's doing great. People loving it. And it's like I didn't even get to go in. I was real light. You know what I'm saying? I was real light with it, but I'm glad I was because it's very like was able to translate very well to his audience, and they're loving that episode. They're loving the episode. So if you ain't seen it, check that out. I just want to give thanks to the brother for the opportunity.
Definitely dope episode. Go check that out, family. Yeah. What can I do to make more money? This brother like shit. This brother
work.
like shit, man.
You gotta work. You gotta work. I don't know what you do, you know what I'm saying? But you just gotta find out what you love. Like, don't think about it like, oh, I gotta make bread. Think about what is it that you love to do that you can I want to say effortlessly because I don't want to give it off like being lazy. What is something that you don't mind busting your behind for, that you're passionate about? And whatever that thing is, you need to monetize it. You know what I mean? You need to monetize it. And if you don't have a direct connection to that, you need to find somebody who you respect that does it, and you need to work with them. Even if you just start off being apprentice, to them, just learning the ropes, and then you can do it yourself. I don't know how old you are. I don't know the background. There's so many factors that are involved. But yeah, you need to find something that you love to do and then find a way to monetize that thing. And these days, there's so many ways to make money now. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? So, there's no excuse to not make money. It just matter how much you trying to make, Yeah.
No, indeed.
But start your own business. I definitely tell you that.
Somebody wants to know what's KT's thoughts on
cod liver oil. Yeah, that's old school right there. I don't use it, but it's been very beneficial to people through the ages. You know what I'm saying? And why would people eat cod liver oil? Because cod liver is going to have exorbitant amounts of DHA up in there because it's going to make the DHA in it. It's a very fatty fish that has a lot of omega-3s. So you're going to find a lot of DHA in that cod liver oil. I would say you could get my DHA, you could get my perilla oil, as an alternative to that. But I've never heard anything bad about it. I know a lot of y'all still eat fish or other meats and things like that, and y'all ain't about to give it up now. So if you're still eating that way, I say go ahead, go for it. But there's definitely better alternatives.
I was watching something on YouTube the other day, and they was talking about. I was looking at a video on cholesterol, and they was talking about the benefits for those who eat fish of sardines. What's your thoughts on sardines, KT?
Yeah, that's omega-3s too. That's what it is. Selenium is vitamin D. It's omega-3s. Like a can of sardines is gonna have like almost 24. What is that? 2.4. Yeah, about 2.4, almost 3 grams of omega-3s, and there's gonna be a lot up in there. Yeah.
All right. Let's get to one last question. Let me see. Okay, last question, KT. My godson is now 6. Now 6. No, my grandson now 6. Godson now 6 was born premature. He does not want to eat. What to do?
He's 6 years old and he doesn't want to eat.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're trying to feed him. That's the ultimate question. Are you giving him anything that he's gonna want to eat? And you want to do things that are going to create an appetite. Leptin is the satiation hormone, while ghrelin deals with hunger and inducing it. So you want to figure out how to increase the ghrelin, which will increase the appetite. You want things that's going to help him with his appetite, and you know, getting him real active. Like, he might not be active, but any organism that becomes extremely active over a period of time and then they stop being active, guess what happens? They get hungry. And then when they get hungry, you just got to you need to give them some nutritionally dense, solid foods, and there's definitely certain foods and things that, induce, hunger and things of that nature. But I would say, just make sure that with children, anytime there's a problem with children, is usually because they're not active enough. And active don't mean that they don't sit down at home. No, active means they're in the park, they playing outside, they're on the beach, they on the bike, they playing. I used to go out I used to watch Saturday morning cartoons, right, all the way till Bugs and Daffy, right? Right after Bugs and Daffy went off at like 11:30 or something like that, I'd head outside and I'd be there all the way until the street lights came on. Summertime, that ain't till about 8. You know what I'm saying? So I'm out there 8-9 hours non-stop all over the neighborhood doing stuff. So you want that kid out in the park, playing in the grass, in the waters, in the pond, camping, hiking, all that type of stuff. And they're going to get tired and they're going to get hungry. Anytime you don't know what to do to reset, guess who's right outside your door? Mama. Mama right there. Just go put your body in nature and watch how you tune back up. Remember, this whole presentation about star genetics boiled down to what? Chronobiology and time. So if these are the gears and the cogs that are operating above our heads in the form of all these celestial bodies, and your timing is off, because if he's not eating, timing is off. If you're inflamed, timing, all of these is entropy. Stop saying MS. Stop saying diabetes. Say entropy. Okay, that's why Sabi said there's only one disease, mucus. Entropy. Okay, disorder over time in the system. So, oh man, what do I do? What do I need to do if I have entropy? Drop entropy. What do I do, KT? If I drop entropy, okay, how do I drop entropy? Well, if entropy represents time, right? Then what you want to do is manage your time better. And you do that. How do you extend more time? All of us feel like we don't have enough time. Anytime you go outside and you ground, you sun gaze, you go in nature, the days are longer. So all of y'all done experience that. You know what I'm saying? The days are they're fulfilling. You have a full day. And when that sun goes, like when you hit the mountain, Rich, and then you go to like the park and you do all that natural stuff, right? And that sun go down that day, how tired you be?
Oh man. Whew. I'm telling you, man.
Elephant laying on dog, I can go straight to bed. You know what I'm saying? So anytime you feel entropic, create negative entropy through the consistency of time throughout the day. And you only are going to be consistent by aligning yourself with the most consistent structure, which is the sun itself. Align yourself with the XY axis of the sine wave.
You just reminded me of that presentation, family. If you came in late today, I advise you to rewatch tonight's presentation with a pen and a paper, take notes. I mean, it was up there. It was up there. It was so good I had to give KT an award. That's how good it was.
That capstone, baby.
You know what I'm saying? That's how good it was. KT, before we get out here, I pinned KT's website at the top of the chat for everybody who's interested in purchasing the brother's products. Brother got magnificent products. The CMOS, I need the honey. He's about to give me some more of the honey. I done started taking the honey with the sea moss. It's helping my skin. It's helping my energy levels. I mean, it's doing great. My body loves it. My body, I'm like a junkie. My body's calling for it right now. KT got me hooked. So make sure y'all go support the brother. KT, what you want to tell the people before we get out of here, my brother?
Oh man, closing thoughts. Star genetics is the fact that your genes is influenced by the celestial lights that exist and pour all around you. You have a mitochondria that exists inside of you that is able to receive and transmit those light energies into metabolism within inside your body. If you have any type of issue that is going on in your system, more than likely it is tied to circadian rhythm, which means you want to govern your sleep-wake cycle and create more of a rhythm, which represents consistency, right? Rhythm, right? Rhythm is timing. That timing drops entropy. If, for example, you're a producer, Rich, right? You whip out all of your beat machines and everything like that, right? And you just bang, boom, jack to compliment, that's information, right? No,
great.
you're gonna like, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, this dude here, he makes it easy for the regular person. Did you hear how he explained inflammation with that example?
That's what I'm saying. You create rhythm, which is time. Ain't your beats timing?
Yes.
Right? You listen to the beat before Kambada get on, they be like, what is that? You be like, I don't know. And you got to go in the computer, be like, damn, there's some type of glitch. That thing got that thing off. And you move it over a little bit, and then it's hitting.
Yeah.
And then even with Kambada, when he comes on the track, right? He's not off beat with it. He's on that thing, right? And the combination of the timing of your beat along with the rhythm and the cadence of his words on that track creates a song that has divine timing and rhythm. Entropy has dropped. How do we know? It becomes timeless. You can listen to that song forever because there's nothing that you're going to cut off quicker than a corny, lame ass song. Has no time to survive. Turn that off right now. You know what I'm saying? So that's what you do for your health. Create rhythm, create timing. Treat your health like you would creating a new record.
Powerful. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in tonight. Thank you once again, KT, Black Magic, KT the Arch. We sign out, family. Peace.